Now we'll start part 2 of Micah, and let me get some of this stuff ready and change this to this. Now this is what got cleaned up last time, or in the first video, and we got that far. That's not terribly good because there's a lot to be done yet. So let's think that's text will be big enough. That's done text. So this is 2 from here down. Thus says YV. Okay, now that he's done with his telling them about what the prophecy is about, now here comes the prophecy. Thus says YV. I don't like the beginning of this. Anyways, don't need this. I am planning against. I am planning. I was saying against these tribes, a calamity from which they cannot remove. They cannot remove it from their necks. It's always hard to start these, and you will not walk haughtily. Now we know that this it will be an evil time for you. Oops. On that day, that's the day of prophecy. On that day, they will take up on that day, they will take up against you a taunt and utter a bitter lamentation. Okay. Okay. So I need to find 3 verses. Thus says YV. Okay, that's 1. These 2 would be out. It's I'm planning against this, not family, kingdom. Talking about Israel going into captivity for what they've been doing. I am planning against if I get rid of the word this and put in Israel and make it bold, we know that that means it's the kingdom Israel. So that way, thus says YV, I am planning against Israel, for it will be an evil time for them. On that day, I'm thinking Judah will take up again against you a taunt. It would be, because who is they? I mean, it has to be Judah will take up. It has to be Judah. Judah will take up against you a taunt of a. Judah will take up against you a taunt, take up to you, and yeah, because I just don't like the words here. Judah will take up against you a taunt and utter a bitter lamentation, saying, you will be completely destroyed. For he, meaning our Creator, exchanges a portion of, this would be actually not my people, but Jesus. They knew he was coming, so it's his people, his servants. So our Creator had let them know that prophecy of David. So he exchanges a portion of his people. How he removes it from. Now he will remove it. Now I will, or wait, they're taunting. Now he will remove you too. Now, why did I put you too? Because actually, the Armenians took over the west, or the east, Manasseh's land, and now he's going to do the same here with you. He exchanges a portion of his people. Now he will remove you too. And apportion your fields. Apportion your fields. I guess this doesn't need to be done. You will have no one stretching a measure line for you by lot in the assembly in your, and this has to be kingdom, in your kingdom. It's a taunt, and this is why. This isn't needed. You'll have no one stretching a measuring line for you by lot in your kingdom for YV. We will not, well, it would be this taunt that they will not speak out for you, and they didn't come to the rescue. This has to be will. They will not speak out concerning these things. They will not speak out concerning this reproach. And will not be turning back. They will not speak out concerning this reproach, and not and turn their backs on you. This would be them, the ones that are mocking, I believe. Here it's being, yes, you're going to be exchanged or removed. You have no one's, I guess it would be then you'll have no one. You'll have no one stretching a measure line over you in your kingdom for YV. They will not speak out concerning this reproach, and will turn their backs. I don't know if that's really can be done here. How else? Turn around and you will not be returning back. Turning. We're returning. Turns around and you. I think that's a little bit better there. They will not speak out concerning this reproach, and you will not be returning back. I can't hook that with anything. Are these are his doing. Now it's coming back that somewhere he has stopped talking. This is hard to say that our creator is speaking here. That's what I'm getting, because when I'm editing, these are his doing. These taunts and these coming down are his doing. Do my words. do good to the one walking upright. Recently, his people have risen like an enemy. And this is separate. So how does this connect to here? Okay, then this here, because it does need to be talking about the people who are doing good. These are his doings for recently our people have risen as his enemy. Okay, maybe that does hook this way. They will strip off your robes, the garments from unsuspecting passerby, those returning from war. No, that's the women of my people will evict you. No, that isn't. This isn't true. The women of my people you evict, each one from her pleasant house. From her children you take my splendor from ever. This just doesn't read like it's part of this. If he's trying to describe this is why he's the enemy, the only reason why they're the enemy is because they turned from him. These are just wicked acts. Okay. Actually, this is going to start, it's starting to feel like it's separate from this. Because this, they're already told they're leaving, and these are his doings. For recently our people have arisen as his enemy. And I would put even here. But that's just not really, it's not truthful either. But I'm trying to still edit it just to see how it flows. You strip off me see there. I don't know why they're robes. Those are only worn by priests or kings. Yeah, this would have to be S. Meaning they have no possession after they take her home. Women of my people you evict, each from her home, and from her children you have taken forever. That forever. Arise, go, there is no rest, no place of rest. Because the uncleanness that brings from destruction, a painful destruction. All right. For them. Because of you. Because you brought on their destruction. They now arise and leave. I think I could say that a little bit different. Now they arise and leave. This is no place of rest for them because you brought on their destruction. Man walks after the wind, falsehood told a lie, and say, I will speak out with you concerning wine and liquor. He would be a spokesman for this people. Now that, I don't think any of that is needed. Just not going with this text here. He will surely assemble all you. Jacob's will be gathered, and the remnant of Israel's. I'll put them together like sheep in a fold, like a flock in the midst of a pasture. They will be noisy with men. So what's that all about? I guess the text is saying later well, later I will assemble all of you for I will surely gather the remnant of Israelis. Now, the thing here is Israelis here is being called out as those who are unto him. The others would have been evil. He's sending them away. He's done with them. He knows they're not going to come back to him. So the Israelis are the good ones that he's going to return. So this doesn't need to be because it's not matching the format. I see with man because man is male and female, and there are children. Breaker was up before them. They break out and pass through the gate, and they go out by it. So their king goes out before them, and YHVH is at their head. Now the breaker, what the hell are we talking about here? Because it's they will break out. But it's already putting them back together here. They will return through the gate. And this would be for, we know the answer because they're going to be taken away, and then Judah's going to get taken away, and then they're going to return through the gate. For their king Jesus, right? I got that thinking right here because when they're returning for their king who will that's not really right here. Walk before them. And YHVH will be their leader. And I will be their leader if it comes. I'm just saying, if this is our creator speaking, he's got to say I here. And I will be their Lord. Not their head, their Lord. Now you can complain about that, but that's just a matter of fact. He's not a head. So if he's the king, for the king who will walk before them, and YV will be his Lord. I think they're changed to his Lord. That's more interesting of the text to be able to say that in a lot of times when he said he was sending him away, he was also telling me he was going to bring him back. Isn't that for you to know justice? You are to hate good. You who hate, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. And love evil, okay, he's talking about who tear off their skin from men and the flesh and the bones, who eat the flesh of my people, strip off their skins, break their bones, and chop them up, as for a pot. This is just crapola. Although it is a format, but that means they knew the format. But this here, this would have to go with them sacrificing their children, and I don't know why they would be chopping them up. But anyways, that's just not true. Is it not for you to know justice, you who hate good and love evilness? But they will cry out. They will cry out to Ivy. And he will not answer them. He will not answer them. And not this, because they practice evilness. Now, prophets don't lead people astray. They just don't. I mean, they know, a prophet is to know that we have a creator and there is no having a belief. They're witnesses he exists. Why would he go to them if he knew they were leading them astray? I mean, why would the prophet start changing when they're witnessing our creator? See, this is all nothing here. I don't see this as truth. See, divination isn't, he killed them or had them killed for divining this. It's a practice that he didn't want in the land. The kings were told to kill them. So this would not be true either. the seers again. Because the factors. Sorry about that. We need to sneeze a little bit and clean up a little bit. And this is talking about that day, which is this day, from our Creator. That day will become dark for them. Not over them, but for them. Their seers will be ashamed, and their diviners will be embarrassed because they find out that there actually is a real Creator. From their Creator. And this doesn't really have anything to hook to. So let me get rid of that. This, trying to see how these are, and with justice and courage to make known to. Filled with knowledge from YV, and with justice and courage I make known to all Israel. Oops. Oops. I'm filled with the knowledge. I'm filled with knowledge from with justice and courage I make known to Israel or Israelis, and then it's back to this. Yeah, I guess that's out completely. I'm filled with knowledge from YHVH, and with justice and courage, I make known to Israelis. It could be a little bit done a little better, for I was made to, well, I am to make known to Israel. I am to make known to. Well, I guess if I just leave the word to there and go back there and just get rid of it, to make known to Israelis. That they are to hear this. The leaders this would have to be for the tribes. And rulers for the kingdom for Israel. Okay, now this is making sense this way. House. They are to hear this. And leaders for the tribes. Leader for that they are to hear this. Leaders for the tribes and rulers for the kingdom of Israel. You who hate, let's get it down to where 12-year-olds can read this and not put all these big words in there, because actually the Hebrew language doesn't have all the words that we have today. I think there's something like they have like 50,000 words they use in our language. We've probably got 60 to 80,000 words. Who hate justice, twist everything that is straight. Well, this is almost like it's falling to a 2-verse format. Because this is not true at that time that this is being taken, and twist everything that is straight. Well, actually, I can keep that as 3. Your leaders judgments. Your leaders pronounce judgment for a bribe. Your priests instruct for a price. Yet they lean on YV, meaning that to fool and to deceive the normal people. Example, the Pope. He's an idiot. He's not really a believer that we have a creator, because just the actions that he does is not true. So it's like this. He's there for instructions for a price, and yet he'll turn around and tell you that I'm for our creator. I think his latest or somewhere he said he didn't think Jesus existed. so it's just, the guy is a nut. See, this is not, this is later. This is, I'm seeing this as when it starts talking about Jerusalem, that's a heap of ruins for that. This is not, this is mixed up with text that's going to happen. What is it? Yeah, it's going to happen about 100 years later. But yes, this would be because I was telling you earlier how you can detect what's what, and the priests were corrupt in the time of Jerusalem because they were in Jerusalem. So this is this here is a second part. Okay, this is actually all this text is going to be for something else. Kings. For Judah, not Israel. And so right there, because now it does make sense. You hate justice and twist everything that is straight. Now Jerusalem is full of violence. See there? So all of a sudden, then and Jerusalem is full of violence and injustice. See, that is the truth about their time. And the words would be for them to come down. And the priest's instruction, yet they lean on, yeah. they are saying YV is not in our midst. Yet calamity will not come upon us. That's what they would be saying. But on account of them, you'll be plowed as a field, and Jerusalem become a heap of ruins. That's more truthful. Now, like, this is definitely hundreds of years later. This is 100 years later, and I don't think this is part of this prophecy. This would have to be after. But if Micah was after them as well, then he would be able to say these. It would be then Jerusalem will be full of violence and injustice. And your leaders pronounce judgment for a bribe. Guess I don't need that there, but it needs to be put here. Your leaders will pronounce judgment for a bribe, and your priest will instruct. Priest will ask for a price to know something about our Creator. Yet they lean on. Yet your priest asks for a tithe. How do I spell that? Tithe. I don't know how to spell words. You think I'm a genius or something? No, I've hated. I've not hated. I have yet to be able to learn how to spell. I failed English all the way through school, and I mean the E failure, not the D or EC. So that would be will. Okay, now you're getting the idea that this here is definitely for the future. But it could come from Micah. I have no problem with that. But this is the second one. This is not the first one. They too will out as a field, and Jerusalem become a heap of ruins. Okay. This is gone. This is gone because it's part of this. It will come about, well, this, all them words don't mean nothing. In the last days, the house for YV house will be established for your king, chief, king. Will be established for our king. Actually, that should be put here. Because, see, we happen to know the story here, some of us, that they returned from, like he said, they were going to return, and then the house, and they rebuilt the house. They rebuilt the house and Jerusalem will be established for our king. This never happened. Not that I know of, and I can't say that it didn't happen, because for the house, it will be raised above all gods. And our people will stream to it from many nations, from many kingdoms. They will come, and it's true that they came from Egypt. I'm pretty sure Ethiopia and other kingdoms like that, other than from whoever sent them down. Can't remember the name, the king that did that, but he sent them back to rebuild. So this is what I'm seeing here. The house will be established for our king. It will be raised above it will be rebuilt. It will be rebuilt on the hills. It will be rebuilt on actually it's kind of like a mount. It's not a hill, it's a flat area. You have to go up the hill, but the other hill is a little bit higher, and that is a mount. The hills just don't go up to a peak in Jerusalem. They have, a lot of them have flat tops to them that you could call a mount. Small mount, because it's not like the mount in Jordan. It will be rebuilt I have to put rebuilt. So if you're wanting to know a word that, yes, is completely different than this, it will be rebuilt on its hill. It will be rebuilt on its hill, and our people will stream to it from many kingdoms. They will come. That's the truth. They will say, come, let's go up to the mountain for YHVH, to the house of our Creator. Well, that isn't, they're going to stream there because they're given their freedom back, and they don't have to be servants no longer, that they can return to the land and live as a free people. Not so much be captives anymore, and say, come, let us go up to the house of YHVH. Let us come to the hill for YHVH. And say, come, let us go to the hill for YHVH, to the house for our Creator. That gets rid of that, and this is the truth. That he, it's not about may, that he will, it's not so much that he will teach, that he will lead us. And his, and its way of life for us. That he will lead us in his way of life for us, that we walk in, I would say, this, and it has to be his path. So we'll go forth and the law from Jerusalem. You will judge. Oh, I'm past the time. Sorry about that. I got carried away. I'm seeing it going into a 4 verse or 2 verse. Now it's going into a 4 verse. So I'm going to stop there, and clean this up, and I want to clean this up before I leave, so those coming will be able to see what was done in this video, and I will also bring it or I'll show it and bring it, show it. And I need something to start with, so I'm gonna do this. P3, video 3 will be coming up now. Well, I'm working as fast as I can. I'm having trouble with my hands coordinating this. Whoops, I'm gonna have to look at this, see what happened, why I've got a different format there all of a sudden. And this would be gone because this goes here. When I read over these after they're done, I'll try to make a few corrections and try to speed up the process. Okay, now if I go down here, because I'm looking for yellows that I have questions about. So now quickly grab this, put that down, put this right here, and then get it smaller so you can grab screenshots. So get ready for those. I can see what's going to happen here. This is going to get removed, so I'm going to remove it right now. Okay, this is what we've cleaned up here in this one here. Okay, and then I have to watch what I'm doing here on the other screen. And whoops, I'm going to have to come down here and say somewhere right here. And then here, We actually got, okay, right there. Okay, that'll be it. That's a little longer than what I usually try to make these. And I will show that in the next video.